Are miracles part of life or a coincidence? What we do know is that three brave Israeli soldiers, Monique, Eyal, and Ron, connected to life at Sheba Medical Center.
I look back forward and I see the suicide bomber hugging the second soldier behind me and boom, blowing himself with him.
They just weren't able to stabilize her. She was just losing blood. So I said, so what are you telling me? I'm saying there's nothing else we can do.
The line between being the best and being rock bottom is actually very thin.
A completely unexpected act of terror during the morning rush hour in February 2001 killed 8 and injured many more. Monique, a young soldier, barely survived. Her life ebbing away, she arrived at Sheba.
They took me aside and they said Monique has been critically injured. They said her chance of survival is less than 1%.
It was really a miracle because it was there was a conference of all the head of the doctors of the whole hospital. So there wasn't a doctor that I would have needed that was not at the hospital at that day. I was in a very bad condition. I had many injuries. I went into many hours of surgery. And they had a problem that my blood did not stop clotting.
He says, the only thing that we can offer you, it's an experimental drug.
And my mother looked at him and said, what is my other choice? And he says, this is the last option. So she said, okay. They put the drug in and it worked. I'm here today.
In August 2002, the course of Eyal's life was permanently changed when an ordinary bus ride became a carnage of 9 dead and 40 gravely injured. Eyal was left blind and deaf.
I remember when I started to wake up from the coma, I thought I'm captured.
It was like a wounded animal. He didn't see. He didn't hear.
I just wanted that people leave me alone. And they give me a pen and a piece of paper. And all the time, inside my head, I thought that I'm captured. I just wrote, my name is Eyal Neifeld. My number in the army is ta-ta-ta. From now on, I'm not speaking with nobody. Actually, one day, I remember my father took my hand and he put on his face. And I started to touch. I say, okay, somebody is bald. I touch his nose, I touch here, I touch everything. I said, I don't know if it's my father or not. So I took, give me a hand. I took his hand and I thought, if you're my father, do like this, yes. If not, do like this, no. Mm-hmm. So he started, yes.
Then we said he need urgently cochlear implant. It was not simple because his ears were damaged. But we said no, he needs hearing. And it was a special surgery that Professor Cronenberg did. And he got the implant. But getting implant doesn't mean you hear. Then, after a few weeks, we had to turn it on.
Eyal, Klu. Eyal.
Eyal's expectations to regain hearing were high. But there were disappointments.
אני מרגיש כמו איזה דונלדק באוזן, זה לא בסדר.
רגע, תגידי לו שכולם בהתחלה דונלדק. תגידי לו.
תפסיק לבכות את המוטף.
אני לא מאמינה.
זה לא כמו בן אדם רגיל. טק טק טק. טק טק.
זה הרגעת אותי? כן. אייל. אייל.
אייל, אמא אמרה את זה.
לא. אין דבר. זה נכון.
אמא אמרה את זה?
כן.
אבא? אבא? אבא.
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 We were lucky to be able to do something for his hearing.
אבא.
It is not just doing something for his hearing, it is providing the hearing and bring him back to the family, to the society, to life.
Now, with the gift of hearing, Eyal is a beacon of optimism. Although blind, he is at university, leading a life filled with hope for the future, together with his wife, Iris.
If not the rehabilitation from the hospital, I don't think that I will never be covered from to be blind in that. It's
best things that Eyal have is a lot of sense of humor and a lot of optimism. He's okay the way he is. The only thing that really hurts him is not seeing me and not seeing the children that we gonna have.
In the Second Lebanon War, Ron's tank was among the first to cross the border into Lebanon.
I was recruited to the IDF, to the Israeli Defense Forces, and became a tank commander.
A building collapsed on his tank, crashing his spinal cord, leaving him critically injured.
About 2 weeks prior to my injury, I was sitting outside my tank on the northern border with Lebanon, in the middle of a peach orchard, and I was telling my crewman, my loader, Isaac, I was telling him, my older brother has to get married in 3 weeks. It'll be a real shame if I get killed, so we just have to make sure that if anything happens, the least that can happen is that I get injured so that we can make it. Sheba let us have the wedding there. Many good Samaritans from all over the country came together and just turned the garden in Sheba to a full-blown wedding hall. I'm a big believer in heroes. Like one of those guys that came in once in a while, and he showed me the highest standard of how a person can live his life. And that's something that I really, really wanted to do. So he was also one of my heroes. I set my life up in a way which doesn't need any assistance from anybody else.
Ron is connecting to the world with electrifying musical performances. Using his music, Ron is bringing joy to the new patients being treated at Sheba's rehabilitation hospital. Acting as the mentor, he continues the connection.
Sheba to me is home. I got life there, and that's when when I had my first child, I went back to give life there.
It's a family. It's a real family. And maybe I don't know all the people that treated Eyal, but if you hear me somewhere and I didn't even meet you, thank you. Thank you so much.
מההתחלה, כמו לנשום בפעם הראשונה, אני כאן